Whether she's hawking her lifestyle brand that seems to be curated exclusively for the 1%, or forgetting entire chunks of her acting career, Gwyneth Paltrow can seem a little bit out of touch. Here are the celebs who simply can't stand Gwyneth Paltrow. The beef between Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow has been kicking around for what feels like an eternity. The cut places its origins as far back as 2013, but it's since escalated into a full-fledged war between two houses. Perhaps a bit like if Game of Thrones took place in a Connecticut mansion and everyone's linens were perfectly folded. In 2014, Stewart told Porte magazine, "Gwyneth Paltrow just needs to be quiet. She's a movie star. If she were confident in her acting, she wouldn't be trying to be Martha Stewart." That same year, Eater reported that a 6-page Martha Stewart living spread about pie was titled Conscious Coupling, which was clearly a swipe at Paltrow's conscious uncoupling from her ex-husband Chris Martin. Paltrow followed with a Goop recipe for jailbird cake, just in case you forgot that Stewart is an ex-con. More recently, in September 2017, Stewart pulled a Mariah Carey on Watch What Happens Live when she joked,
"Who's Goop?"
"It looks like this feud isn't about to die down anytime soon." If Tom Holland dislikes Gwyneth Paltrow, she's blissfully unaware of it, because the Goop founder has no idea who the Spider-Man actor is, despite the fact that they both worked together on the Avengers films and Spider-Man Homecoming. This is a feat of epic proportions, considering Holland plays Homecoming's eponymous star.
I thought that it was an Avengers movie, but it was not.
Nonetheless, in a trivia segment for Pop Sugar, Holland admitted that it, quote, breaks his heart that Paltrow, who plays Tony Stark's personal assistant turned lover Pepper Potts, didn't remember Spider-Man Homecoming at all. In fact, she apparently didn't even bother learning Holland's name, though she took a photo with him on the set of Avengers Endgame. Holland explained, "She was in her blue suit and I was in my Spider-Man suit, and she came up and she asked me for a photo with me and Robert. And then I think she just posted it and she said Robert Downey Jr., myself, and this guy. I was just the guy." Indeed, Paltrow's Instagram caption paid tribute to Downey Jr. and said, "Happy birthday, dear heart. Love me and that other guy in the photo." It's probably time for Holland to start wearing a name tag whenever Paltrow is around.
Tom Holland's there, and you're going to walk out and do a press conference. I give you the ring.
Yes.
That was Spider-Man.
That was Spider-Man? Oh my God.
Sebastian Stan is another actor relegated to the black hole that is Gwyneth Paltrow's memory of ever having been a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Perhaps all that brain dust moon juice is really affecting her head, and Captain America's sidekick is having none of it. The actor who plays Bucky Barnes, also known as the Winter Soldier, called out Paltrow after he had to introduce himself during Paris Fashion Week, even though they'd worked together more than once before. He captioned an Instagram post, "Also glad I got to reintroduce myself to Gwyneth Paltrow for the 3rd time. We are in the same film." Both actors appeared in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. To be fair to Paltrow, their characters don't interact a whole lot, but they both filmed the epic Thanos battle scene and the funeral at the end of Endgame. Maybe a 4th introduction will be the charm if Stan even wants to go there. Today, it seems like Jennifer Lopez and Gwyneth Paltrow have a lot in common. They're both multimillionaires, with J.Lo reportedly worth 4 times as much as Goop's founder. They both follow clean diets, and they both dated Ben Affleck, so it's easy to forget that the pair come from 2 entirely different worlds. J.Lo clawed her way out of the Bronx bedroom she shared with her 2 siblings, and against all odds, made it in Hollywood. Meanwhile, Paltrow was born there, her father a prominent director, and her mother a Tony Award-winning star. It makes sense that these 2 women wouldn't get along, particularly in the 90s when the divide was even greater. In 2019, a 21-year-old interview with Lopez went viral, and Jenny from the Block didn't sugarcoat her feelings about Paltrow. Lopez told Movie Line, "Tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work." About a year later, Paltrow won an Oscar for Shakespeare in Love, so it's safe to say that people have probably heard about her work now. Gwyneth Paltrow has an obvious dislike of the tabloids, but it's a bit unexpected for the start of feud with a glossy magazine. Those are generally the outlets that let the actor shill her Goop products. Nonetheless, it's pretty clear that both Vanity Fair and the Lifestyle Guru can't stand one another. The whole thing apparently boils down to a piece the magazine planned to publish without the star's pre-approval. According to Page 6, Paltrow's feud with Vanity Fair's then editor-in-chief, Graydon Carter, was ignited when she was asked to collaborate on a cover story February, but declined because of recent unflattering profiles of actors like Tom Cruise and her ex, Brad Pitt. Carter decided to truck forward without her blessing, so the Sliding Doors star allegedly sent out an email urging her A-list friends to blacklist Vanity Fair. Reportedly quoting Paltrow's email, Page 6 claimed that Paltrow pleaded, "Vanity Fair is threatening to put me on the cover of their magazine. If you are asked for quotes or comments, please decline. Also, I recommend you all never do this magazine again." However, Paltrow's email only made things worse. Carter told London's The Times, "Some famous people believe that they live in a cone of celebrity that protects them, but it doesn't really exist anymore in LA unless they stay in." At one point, Madonna and Gwyneth Paltrow were tighter than a jade egg nestled in a you-know-what, but according to Us Weekly, they allegedly had a falling out in June 2010. A source told the tabloid that they were no longer speaking. Of course, the Lucky Star singer's rep denied the feud to the Daily Mail, but Paltrow had already exacerbated the rumors. During a conversation about Tracy Anderson, who had recently stopped training Madonna, Paltrow told British Vogue, "Yeah, it's good that Tracy doesn't train Madonna anymore. She keeps people waiting. It takes up your whole day." By 2013, the feud escalated, with Madge reportedly snubbing Paltrow at the Met Gala, a source told Us Weekly. Madonna gave Gwyneth the cold shoulder, then buddied up to tablemate and current Paltrow pal, Beyoncé. According to The Mirror, that's the same year Paltrow proudly implied her abs were better than Madonna's, which is apparently the most important takeaway from all this drama.
Why rub it in? Let's face it.
Joan Rivers was known for her snarky commentary about A-listers far and wide. May fashion police forever take up residence in our problematic hearts. Gwyneth Paltrow was, of course, not immune. In 2013, the Great Expectations star told Harper's Bazaar, "I would be scared to go under the knife, but, talk to me when I'm 50. I'll try anything. Except I won't do Botox again because I looked crazy. I looked like Joan Rivers." This probably didn't put the actress on Rivers' good side, who went on to make some jabs about Paltrow, too. The jokes upset Paltrow, and in an interview on Watch What Happens Live, Rivers explained, "The worst criticism was Gwyneth Paltrow. She came in and yelled at us, but she stood up. She can't sit down because she's got a stick up her rear end. Not my favorite." In 2014, Paltrow was so busy battling Martha Stewart via pastry recipes that she might have missed the part where she wasn't actually in a legitimate war. Though it can get confusing when both her and Melania Trump wear their army-inspired jackets and complain about online bullies. Either way, Cindy McCain, the wife of Senator John McCain, was not pleased. Speaking with Vox's Recode, Paltrow compared her experience living in the trenches of the internet's fiercest hate to surviving a war. The actress said, "It's almost like how in war you go through this bloody, dehumanizing thing and then something is defined out of it. My hope is, as we get out of it, we'll reach the next level of conscience." Everyone knows that the first rule of the internet is that trolls won't ever reach a higher level of conscience because they're a lost cause. The second rule is that you're always going to offend someone, and sometimes that person has every right to be offended. On that particular day, this person was the wife of a decorated war veteran. McCain fired back in a series of tweets. "Gwyneth Paltrow is a joke. Her life is like taking bullets for a soldier. What a joke. My 2 sons serving in the military should talk to her." As lifestyle gurus, you'd think that Jessica Alba, who runs The Honest Company, would get along with Goop's Gwyneth Paltrow swimmingly. But according to OK USA, things were in fact toxic on the set of their TV series Planet of the Apps. The pair reportedly couldn't stand each other. An insider who spoke to the tabloid claimed, "Paltrow and Alba were like oil and water. It was shocking they even agreed to do the show together." Both women reportedly took jabs at the other's business. Paltrow supposedly claimed Goop was, quote, "a very ethical company," which inferred a contrast to the ingredient controversy that got The Honest Company sued. Alba reportedly criticized Goop for only, quote, "catering to the wealthy," while claiming The Honest Company, quote, "connects with real women." It didn't stop there either. An insider told OK USA. Gwyneth is a delegator, while Jess likes to roll up her sleeves. She's even criticized Gwen's hands-off style. Producers are going nuts trying to keep things peaceful. The series never made it beyond its first season, though it would have been interesting watching it slowly turn into celebrity deathmatch. Gwyneth Paltrow hasn't just annoyed the Hollywood set with her goopness. While the Goopstress was floating on $395 sneakers in Tinseltown, oblivious to why the poor can't eat organic on $29 a week, she was met with harsh criticism from Simon Stevens, the chief executive of Britain's National Health Service. During a 2020 event in Oxford, Stevens gave a warning about the star's lifestyle brand and Netflix series, The Goop Lab with Gwyneth Paltrow. For Associated Press, Stevens said, Goop carries considerable risks to health by promoting quacks, charlatans, and cranks. Gwyneth Paltrow's brand peddles psychic vampire repellent, says chemical sunscreen is a bad idea, and promotes DIY coffee enema machines. Stevens also apparently noted that the results of the treatments recommended by Goop were not backed by scientific evidence, according to USA Today. A spokeswoman for Goop said the company takes efficacy and product claims very seriously and noted it has a legal and compliance team that works with their science and research group to vet product claims. However, it's impossible to not mention that the brand was forced to pay a $145,000 settlement in a false advertising lawsuit. According to Business Insider, the lawsuit was centered around health claims that the brand made about their jade egg, rose quartz egg, and inner judge flower essence that were, again, not backed by science. Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't really care what people think about her. She tries not to even read her own press, telling Marie Claire UK, "It's none of my business what people think about me." However, it would seem that the actor-turned-lifestyle mogul has built a $250 million brand off the back of bad press. After all, controversy is excellent clickbait. What really matters is what the most hated celebrity on the planet thinks of herself, and as it turns out, Gwyneth Paltrow sometimes can't even stand Gwyneth Paltrow. She told the Sunday Times Style magazine, "You don't want to be an but slowly, if people start removing obstacles for you, if you live in a world where you never have to sit in line, where people don't confront you, where they don't tell you the truth, that's what you become." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.